Hi there, Terence McGuana here. Welcome back to Canon Forever, and today we're going to look at Street Smart from 1987. Reporter Jonathan Fisher is struggling to meet his deadline on a story about pimps on the streets of Times Square. Unable to find a subject that will talk to him, in an act of desperation, he creates a fictitious pimp that his editor finds as a compelling news item. This fabrication leads the district attorney's office to assume that this fictitious character is in fact real pimp Fast Black, who is on trial for second-degree murder. Not too long after the release of Superman 3 in 1983, Christopher Reeve expressed that he had no desire to play the Man of Steel ever again. But in the mid-1980s, Canon Films had managed to acquire the rights to do another Superman sequel, and they did everything in their power to woo Christopher Reeve back to star in that leading role once again. This film, Street Smart, was a pet project of Christopher Reeve's. He came across this screenplay that had sat on a shelf for over 7 years, and he brought it to Canon Films, and this was the deal breaker. This was the film that he wanted to get made in order to agree to play Superman one more time. We all know what an absolute disaster Superman 4 was as a feature film, right? The film is absolutely horrendous. In fact, I went to see it when I was 8 years old in the summer of 1987, and I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I was an 8-year-old, right? I get to see Superman on the big screen, so I had the honour of seeing one Canon film in the cinema, and it was Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and I remember it like it was yesterday, funnily enough, right? And but yeah, watching it now, Superman 4 is an embarrassment to watch. The visual effects in it are just absolutely dreadful, and there are moments in it that make absolutely no sense. And it was made at a time when Canon Films had decided to sort of ditch making the ninja films and the breakdance movies, the lower budget films, and they were reaching for these giant blockbusters with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and Masters of the Universe. These films were cost way more than the budgets that Canon were used to, and it was almost the death knell for the company. This was a sign of this company coming to an end. I can totally understand why Christopher Reeve was drawn to this part. Even though on the surface he does seem like a good middle-class American man, some of his actual decisions and choices throughout this film make him out to be a bit of a sketchy character himself, a very flawed individual. Even though this film came out in 1987, it does come across as one of those sort of morally ambiguous films that you used to get in the 1970s. Because Canon Films were more interested in Superman 4, they did not give Street Smart a decent release. This film was not given the sort of publicity that it deserved, and the movie completely tanked at the box office, and a lot of people have never seen this one, which is a shame because I think it is a really interesting crime story. The story takes a very interesting turn because Fast Black realises that this news article is a work of fabrication, and he approaches Jonathan Fisher, and they both work together, not only so that Jonathan Fisher has his pimp character for his story that he can present to his editor, but also so that Fast Black has an alibi that helps him get away with second-degree murder. Morgan Freeman is absolutely the man of the match when it comes to this film. His performance is a total knockout. Christopher Reeve started to worry during the making of this production because when he saw the dailies of Morgan Freeman's performance in this film, he could see right away that Morgan Freeman was acting him off the screen. From what I understand, Morgan Freeman was given free rein by the director to create this character, and what he does bring to this is a really understated performance. Even though he's playing this violent pimp character that we've seen multiple times in films that have come out before, he doesn't reach for any of those cliches. You do feel that there is a backstory to this man. You do feel that there is a reason for him behaving this way, right? That he's grown up in this violent environment and it's made him this way. There is that you do, even though he is an adversary in the film, you do get an element of empathy with him. It's really strange, and it all comes from Morgan Freeman's performance. It is really incredible, and I understand that Morgan Freeman himself, this is one of his favourite performances that he's ever given in a film. He totally wipes the floor with Christopher Reeve, which is a shame because Christopher Reeve is really good in this film, and he's playing this sort of unusual character for him. And you do get that sort of, this is a film about not only crime and murder, but also class as well. It definitely has something to say about the whole class system, right? That even though these two people exist in the same world and they walk on the same streets, they may as well be from a different planet. But yeah, Morgan Freeman, my goodness. See, I've been wanting to see this film for a long time, right? It's definitely been on my list for a very long time, and my expectations of Morgan Freeman's performance in this was a really show-offy, sort of over-the-top performance. I don't know why. I think I had Training Day in my head, right? When I think of people that have said Morgan Freeman's incredible in this film as this violent pimp, for some reason Training Day just popped in. I just imagine Morgan Freeman like just being so over the top, right? I like Training Day, right? I don't love it. I think Denzel Washington, right, he deserved an Oscar for other films, Malcolm X, The Hurricane, stuff like that. I think Training Day was a very OTT performance. He was almost like a cartoon villain that would tie the girl to the railway tracks for me. That's just my humble opinion. I thought it was an entertaining film. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was so over the top. But this performance by Morgan Freeman as Fast Black is just exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. There is so much depth and detail to this character. It is just really interesting, and it is an absolute travesty the way that Cannon mismanaged this film. From the outside, you probably see that this movie came out a few months prior to Superman 4, and they probably thought to themselves, if we put a lot of money behind this one, if we put a lot of publicity, you know, TV spots and posters everywhere, then people are going to think that something's wrong with Superman. You know, that Superman has still got that red kryptonite in him, because he's not a very nice character, this Jonathan Fisher character. But you can see why Christopher Reeve was so dead set on making this movie, to break away from that Superman image, right? So that he could show that he could play characters that were a lot more complex and a lot more flawed than the Man of Steel, Clark Kent, what have you. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscription button. I'm Terence McGuana, and I'll be back with another Cannon film. See you then. Bye bye.